I put a box on my table, put an oven rack cantilevered off the box, and then
Oh,
I can put my phone on it that shines down so that the
interesting.
phone isn't wobbly. The camera of the phone
Right.
goes between the oven rack wires.
That's very
And
clever. I love that. It's very MacGyver. It's really
yeah,
great.
I
Yeah.
didn't come up with it, but it's magical.
Fantastic. It's really great. And how has your experience been in terms of people finding the class and response to the class? It's been good. Is that right?
It's been great. And like I was just ready to just pack the classes in and move on.
Yeah.
And every month I get a nice decent check from Creative Spark for
It's
people taking
wonderful.
classes. So it's
I love it.
great passive income.
I love it. I really do. And they're really growing and I really like them. They're just so far so nice to work with and
Yes.
make you feel like you can do what you want creatively and it's super groovy. So I think
Yeah, it's
it's
great.
really great. Awesome. All right, let me stop sharing the screen. Not that this will be shown. So again, if you're interested in any of the classes we're talking about, you can just go to Timna Tarr, TIMNATARR.com, and go to virtual offerings, and you've got the classes, and they all do go to Creative Spark. Strip Sandwich Improv class, Oh Happy Day, Applique. I so need to take that. Oh my gosh, I so need to take that class. So we have this crazy thing we want to do. So I'll just tell you. So maybe we can play with it sometime. So the copyright office is really like, so they have this thing where like they have 6 circles, like in a domino, or maybe 8, and they're like, that's not copyrightable because it's not creative enough. But then if there's like a circle and a triangle and all this other stuff, so I'm really interested in playing and trying to register a bunch of different works of like, does one circle with one like different circle kind of configurations of like how many circles or configurations you need to be actually
Right,
be
right, right.
protected. So I totally need your circle class because I'm like, it's very funny. I'm like, that's a good copyright problem. Okay, stitched mosaics. Did you do this one recently somewhere? Did you do stitched mosaics in? Have you been
Yeah,
doing
I
that?
do it all the
You do
time.
it
I
all the
do it all the
time.
time. But yeah, that
Yeah,
one's on demand. I also
yeah.
have a book, Stitch Mosaics,
You do.
a book. Yep, on that technique.
Very
So
cool. And this is kind of what you're known for. So, like, I mean, not you're known for lots of things, but this is a very specific
recent.
style that you developed.
Yeah, and more
Um,
recent.
and the map one, and then strung along, string quilting, which people love, and they love doing it with
I love.
string quilting. Tell us for our listeners who don't know what string quilting is. What is string quilting?
It is taking a foundation and sewing strings, like strips of fabric together to the foundation. And the reason you put it on the foundation is it keeps things from stretching.
Right.
And it also just gives you
It's
a
like a thing.
structure
My
to work
neighbor
from.
is way into that. She loves doing it with she's a salvage. Maybe it wasn't her. Somebody else loves the salvage. So to be able to put them all together to make quilts, right? So it's like a thing. It's like a everyone's got to try it at least once kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and it's
Like,
like a really old school, old fashioned thing, but you can make it like really contemporary
that's
by
very
just
cool.
how you play with your colors.
Love it. Love it. Okay, well, this is all super groovy. So, do you tell me just a little bit about? So, one of the things I always kind of wonder is when you start out doing something, like, did you start out doing quilting because you were like, I just love quilting and it turned into a business? Or were you like, I want a business, quilting's a good strategy, I'm going to do this? So, sort of, how did you get into this becoming your career and business side of your life?
Well, so I bought a long arm when I was 24 or something. I was young. And I didn't want to have an office job anymore. That's really what it came down to. So I long armed for clients half time and had a half-time office job for several years. And then the quilting just grew from there.
That's really
But no, I
awesome.
never wanted to. Well, you know what? I say I never want to have a business, but I found a paper that I did in like 8th grade or 6th grade,
Yeah,
and on it said, "What do you want to be when you grow up, or what do you want?" And I was like, "I want to have a family, a stable life, and my own business." So obviously, it was like in my head when I
right,
was a little.
right. Okay, last question. You have a BA in art history, and I'm
Mhm.
curious what how does that influence what you've done and how you look at quilts? Because a lot of people do not come from an art history background. They come from like engineering, or like we cross every kind of field you can imagine. So I'm curious
Right.
what that does to sort of how you approach designing and
Oh,
thinking about quilts.
everything. I spent 4 years in school, like looking
Yeah,
at art, and you're looking at composition and color and
yeah,
how things influence other things. Like I think the biggest thing I take away is I can look at someone's quilt and see the influence, the
yes,
historical
yeah,
influence
right,
that other people that they don't care about. They don't
yeah,
think about that. But I'll
yeah,
be able, I care about that. I want to
yeah,
know the history. I want to know what they were looking at. I'm looking at color differently than other people. Not studio people who have studio degrees. They're definitely way better at that than I am. But um, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm
I love
always
it.
thinking about the
Super
history.
great. Well, this has been such a delight. I really do appreciate you coming and chatting. Is there anything else you want to add, or anything else we didn't cover? Um,
No,
it's really
this has
fun. The
been
very
great.
first, like we love people coming back. So we're kind of this like so this is a research podcast. I'm like trying to understand the industry really in depth to be able to also apply it to say tattoos and woodworking and other spaces, because you can kind of do immersive work here and then see if it's true other places. So we have people come by. So if you want to come back, I would love for you to come back and tell us about the experience of the show or whatever it is. Just reach out to me when you feel like you've got something to talk about and want to come back. We're
Awesome.
not really about promoting, like you can tell, like we're not like a we tried that once. It went really badly. It's not like this is my new book, and like because I'm like, okay, I'm not good at that part. I'm just like, okay, that's great. Nice, that's a really good book. Thank you for coming. It's
Oh,
very
thank
bad,
you.
but anything
Thanks
you
for
find.
doing this. It's really great to talk to you.
Oh, well, it's really fun, and I'm really excited about your show, and thank you for the insight into your work. I really do appreciate it. I think it's important for people to hear many voices about these kinds of questions that come up with copyright and other things. So thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Hold on. Are you okay with us posting? Do you need to have it? Do you need to review it before we post it?
No, I don't care.
All
You
right.
can do whatever you want to do.
Okay, fab. Hold on just a second. So you've been listening to our conversation with Timna Tarr. She's awesome, right? And if you're in New England, go to the New England Quilt Museum starting in July through I think September to see her show. She's got really cool online classes. She's all over the place, and she's really fun. I really love it. It's nice to have a new guest and get to know someone new today. So of course, you know what I'm going to say. I hope you get a chance to quilt today or anything else that you love to do. That you take the time just to enjoy.